Today on the Topic Show, a snotty college professor talks down on common folk and goes viral. A leftist mom cries in front of kids because Trump won as Trump Derangement Syndrome spreads across the nation. Trump's lawyer dares New York AG to keep the lawfare up against Trump. Texas Ken Paxton and 14 other states block Kamala Harris's attempt to give illegals amnesty. American Freight files for bankruptcy. AOL Voice actor Elwood Edwards passes away. And Optics Planet, well, their rating with the Business Bureau is a 1.15 out of 5. All of that and much more on The Topping Show. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of The Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Gotta say he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, you see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also giving away a free flamethrower with every IT purchase. Go to toppingtechnologies.com and click that flamethrower button. Lastly, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now going over to the business part podcast, you have American Freight filing for bankruptcy, unfortunately. Now this comes to us thanks to The Sun, which they say, quote, Sofa shutdown. Popular furniture chain announces huge closeout sale as it shutters every store in the U.S. after filing for bankruptcy. Boss says, quote, everything is on sale and must be sold. And there you can see their iconic nomenclature on the side of a store, which personally I've always been a big fan of American Freight. One of the best deals I ever got in my life. And it might sound silly, but I knew, to me, one of the parameters of making it in life was owning a fridge that can actually make its own ice, and crushed ice specifically, since I actually grew up in a Sears house where, first world problems, of course, we had to make ice by hand. And if you wanted to have crushed ice, well, you put that in a Ziploc baggie, wrap a cloth around it, and smack the crap out of it. And hopefully most of it didn't spill. It still mostly spilled. And one of the things I always wanted was, granted I'm still renting, but so I wanted my own fridge that can do all that. And I did. And one of the ways I was able to do it, not just because I was able to grow my business and save a little bit of money to save up for it, but also I got a major discount at American Freight. It was the Whirlpool one I wanted, made in America, and it was, factory new, but there's some dings from the assembly at the factory, so it was greatly discounted, but still new and never used. So I got a great deal, and, went to the store, and all the employees were very nice and polite, and I thought it was a great business model. I'm actually a little disappointed to see that they're shuttering their doors. Now, they say, quote, popular furniture chain American Freight is slashing prices across the board, and its huge closing sale is underway. The bargain retailer confirmed all of its stores across 40 states will close after its owner, Franchise Group, filed for bankruptcy last Sunday. And here you can see a close-up of, and again, I always thought their nomenclature, their logo is pretty good. Now they say, quote, the retailer, which also operates online, has 328 locations across the United States. Ahead of its closures, shoppers can save up to 30% off the lowest ticketed prices store-wide, which, they're already discounted. That is ridiculously good. They say available items include living room sets, bedroom furniture, dining tables, and selection of new in-box appliances. These include refrigerators, washers, and dryers, which, well, shoot. I still have a washer and dryer that I got off the Craigslist for $100. Still runs like a champ, though. There's no need to get anything fancier, though. Plus, new tech all in break. So I was debating, do I go there? It's not necessary. They know that new inventory is arriving also, but expected to move quickly with customers urged to take advantage of the deals. CEO Ian Fredericks, who is also the CEO of Hilto Customer Retail, says, quote, our goal is to deliver outstanding value to customers during the full chain closing. Everything is on sale and must be sold, and we recommend shopping early for the best selection. Select financing and delivery services will also remain in place as the bargain rumble on. It comes after a Franchise Group, which also owns a Vitamin Shop and Pet Supplies Plus, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in Delaware last week on Sunday. Andrew Lawrence, who's RFG's president and CEO, said, quote, today's announcement to deliver our balance sheet is a pivotal step forward, enabling our market-leading businesses, Pet Supplies Plus, the American Vitamin Shop, and Buddy's Home Furnishing, to realize their full potential, which, of all the businesses I suspect won't be around in a couple of years, the Vitamin Shop, relative to the customer's need and where they're shopping already at Walmart and Amazon, GNC is the biggest competitor, and I really debate if the market can really support multiple specialty stores in that category right now. Now, the CEO also says each of these businesses has demonstrated value proposition and provide great services and products to our customers. It will operate seamlessly during this process. Strengthening RFG's balance sheet will allow us to enhance our support for these businesses as they advance their growth trajectories, which, I mean, that's a pretty diverse portfolio. After a while, you start to debate the correlation, how much synergy there is, how much savings there is to have multiple businesses in multiple categories. They say that under the deal, FRG's debt will be converted into equity and the creditors will take full ownership of the reorganized business. FRG's lenders will also provide $250 million in debtor in possession financing pending court approval to ensure the company can continue operating. This funding is part of its, quote, first day motions for FRG filed for, which requests permission to keep paying employees, vendors, and maintain customer programs during the restructuring process. So it's sad to see that they're falling on some hard times, but thankfully they're going to be still in business. So again, they're going through bankruptcy. The ownership is changing. I mean, hopefully the ownership reinvigorates the brand and they actually increase customer service. And they'll just try to milk it for all it's worth. But it is sad to see something that a company that really helped me out in my life. And granted, I'm not paid ambassador or anything, just a fan of customer service and the product I was able to get from them. I mean, hopefully they'll be able to stay for the foreseeable future and long-term help out all the clients out there. And out of curiosity, I mean, I didn't even know this existed until a friend told me about it a couple years ago. Have you ever heard about them? I'm not sure if they do any marketing or if they are. I mean, of all the people that would be needing or prospective clients, you would think they'd be targeting me for bargains. But let me know in the comments. Have you ever heard of the company? And is this something you're going to miss? And granted, they're still coming back. Have you patronized them before? Let me know because, as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting business news, and on a sad note, the AOL voice actor Elwood Edwards passed away earlier last week. And if you're a fan of American Online and you actually did the dial-up back in the day, it's sad to see such an iconic voice no longer be with us. Now, granted, I'll dive into the article, but I think it's more appropriate to just jump into about a minute YouTube video where it's actually an interview with him. It's about 6 years old, but again, his voice is still iconic and kind of tells you a little bit about kind of the final chapters of his life, and he tells us a little bit about how did he get that gig, and why did they choose him for the voice recording, and how did they go about the process? Was it a fancy Hollywood studio recording room? No, not so much. It was an exceptional ROI for the AOL company. Now it looks like this interview was specifically brought to us thanks to an Inside Edition. It's I was about to say the good old YouTube. It's terrible. Go to Rumble, but it's on YouTube called Uber Driver Recorded You've Got Mail as a favor for a wife who worked with at AOL.
You've got mail.
These Uber passengers are in shock.
No.
Why? Because their driver is Elwood Edwards, the guy behind that famous greeting from the early days of the internet.
You've got mail.
So how did Elwood end up driving for Uber?
Everywhere I go, people say, you get residuals? Do you make a lot of money from it? No. And the question is always answered with no.
Elwood was paid just $200 for that famous recording. His wife was working for AOL at the time. And get this, he did it as a favor.
I recorded, welcome, you've got mail. File's done, goodbye. I did that on a cassette deck in my living room.
Now Elwood makes extra income driving for Uber in Cleveland. And his passengers are blown away to learn about their driver's history.
Welcome, you've got mail.
No way!
This encounter went viral on YouTube.
Do it again, do it again.
You've got mail.
Iconic. That voice is awesome. And yeah, that is pretty cool. So, I'm glad he went viral one last time before he passed. I mean, talk about one of those stepping stones of the internet that really kicked everything off. I mean, at one time, AOL was the largest, most powerful company on the planet, believe it or not. And that little iconic little yellow guy walking across the screen. And he's a great voice actor. I'm not sure if he's a professional voice actor per se, but I mean, that really captivated generations. And unfortunately, it looks, he did recently pass away. So this comes to us thanks to CNN Business, which somehow still in business. Now, specifically, this is Ramesh Muraf, who's a writer over there to be credited. Says, quote, Elwood Edwards, voice of AOL's iconic greeting, You've Got Mail, dies at 74 years old. And say, quote, Elwood Edwards, behind the scenes graphics and camera operator at the local Cleveland station at WKYC, whose voice was propelled to worldwide fame after he recorded AOL's email greeting, You've Got Mail, has died, according to his former employer. He was 74 years old. Any former AOL user will recognize his voice. More than 30 years ago, he recorded the 4 iconic lines that was then the little-known computer company American Online, which, again, later rose to the stratospheres. His wife, Karen, worked at Quantum Computer Services, which eventually became AOL. In 1989, she overheard the former CEO of American Online, Steve Case, discussing adding voice to upcoming AOL software. He volunteered her husband, Edwards, and recorded the phrases on a cassette deck in his living room, saying the four phrases: "Welcome, you've got mail, files done, and goodbye," which would eventually be heard by hundreds of millions of people and become a staple of the AOL experience, which is so iconic back in the day. I mean, it was even in one, I think it's kind of a cliche sappy love movie, but I kind of like the old movie with Tom Hanks with was it, I believe, Meg Ryan, and it was called "You've Got Mail," and it was a remake of a movie from, I think it was the 1920s or 30s, where back then, love letters and is physical mail, but in this case, it was an anonymous meeting online, and at the time, very forward or very new in terms of, online dating was only in the infancy of its inception in the 90s, and when the whole thing in the movie, they would log in the email and that voice in the movie, you heard it, like, "You got mail." That was, and to this day, it's still the nostalgia is off the roof. And fun fact, Dave Chappelle is actually in that movie as well. Again, "You Got Mail," Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan. I think it's the only good movie she ever made, I'm pretty sure. But in all seriousness, the whole plot of the movie, and they would log on to AOL and say, "You've got mail," is iconic. And man, it is a shock to see he's no longer with us. Just for advertising alone, I'm surprised like Comcast or Spectrum or one of the major telecom providers never reached out to him just to not do a parody of it, but to do their own thing of it. I'm still surprised, someone hasn't done that with the Dell dude for nostalgia's sake when Dell did that decades ago. As nostalgia seems to be always hot and always a kind of a key thing for selling for a lot of folks. I'm really disappointed a company didn't reach out to him to kind of recaptivate that and have him do some advertising for him. I think that would have been really cool, but that's just me. Let me know in the comments. Do you remember this? Were you part of that generation that started using AOL, or are you a little bit later? It is sad to see such an iconic voice actor or gentleman passing away, and hopefully his last few years were very enjoyable. And let me know. Do you remember the AOL, or am I got a little bit too much gray in my hair to relate? Let me know, because as always, be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Going over to the Culture Part podcast, you have a snotty professor talking down to the common folk, going viral on the social media. Now, this comes to us thanks to Libs of TikTok, in which she says, quote, "Dr. Randall Heskett has an institute in Colorado which offers courses. He's much better and smarter than you because he's educated and has 3 master's degrees and a PhD. These people have so much contempt for working class Americans, it's absolutely disgusting." Yeah, that's very true. Now, I had to do a double take because I thought this was a fake video. He has a Kamala Harris hat on, which I'm not sure if they sold more than 10 of those. That may very well be a collectible item soon to be put on eBay for hundreds of pennies. I don't know, because I don't know who would want it, but yeah, they actually did have hats. I never saw one in the real world, did you? But apparently they had them. And he's, well, insufferable. That's why it's going viral, but it's only about a minute long, so we can get through it together. He, of course, has no modicum of fashion. He's wearing a rudimentary sweater, not even suiting up as all men should, which, again, a couple of $10-20 again, nice suit at Goodwill. I'm only kidding, of course, but nevertheless, without too much further ado.
Hey, I'm in Walmart looking for a battery charger, and I happen to wear my Harris hat today, and people are giving me the dirtiest looks. Then the guy who was helping me at Walmart gave me the dirtiest looks and made a snide
Have a man needs help with a battery charger. I'm only partially kidding in that regard, but I don't think anyone would give you looks of contempt, but if you're at Walmart wearing a Harris hat, you'd probably get some weird looks like, why the hell, like, your candidate caused record inflation, why are you here? That's weird. Like, I don't think it would be pejorative in terms of like scowling at them.
remark, and I said, "Sir, I have 3 masters."
Let's rewind that, sorry.
And made a snide Walmart gave me the dirtiest looks and made a snide remark, and I said, "Sir, I have 3 masters and a PhD."
3 masters and a PhD, and you can't pick out a battery charger? You can't download the Walmart app and look on there for the battery and look up the aisle yourself? Not sure you're the person who should be talking down to us.
And a published book on politics. I know a little bit about politics. Then he didn't treat me very well after that. So I went down the street to Jack's and got a battery charger. I need to tell you that these people that are giving the dirty looks are uneducated and they're savages. 54% of American adults read at less than a 6th grade level, and I feel like this is a valid statistic to share right now. So
Yeah, coming from your administration who doesn't believe in school choice, Most schools have a 32-year low ACT test scores for their students, yet teachers' unions say they deserve more money. Yeah, I'm not sure that statistic is actually helping your side there, buddy.
So don't allow them to intimidate you with their ignorance. If you are educated and voted for the right people, you have no apology. Hey, I'm in Walmart.
Insufferable as always. And went pretty viral. It got 1.5 million views as well as 25,000 likes happened right before our eyes. We were the final vote, or final like to get that far. One of the first comments coming from Paul Zupa saying, quote, "If you have to recite your resume to make your point, then you failed." Yep, getting 2.1 thousand likes. And it's funny, I don't think it's a coincidence, I met more self-made millionaires with high school diplomas and just dropping out than I have people with college degrees who are still paying off those damn student loans, which, yep, I got a business degree, I'm still paying off those loans. And of course, in the first year of starting my own tech company, I learned more about business than the entire 4 years of business school. But take out loans, you pay them out, and then I'll get there eventually. Craig Chamberlain says, quote, "In my experience, people who remind you of their education during a discussion are often hiding their ignorance of the topic you are discussing behind their education." Getting 1.3 thousand likes. Gene Douglas says, well, Feynman was right about this kind, and he says, quote, "Never confuse education with intelligence. You can have a PhD and still be an idiot." True, getting 1.5 thousand likes. Going down more and more. Javieret Smith, I think that's right, Javieret Smith says, quote, "Hey, Mr. Master Degree, hope I got your name right. I noticed you talked about the student reading failure in the U.S. What party is almost all of education in the U.S. today? I can't wait." Yep. Where the teachers' unions predominantly getting elected and voting for? Got 477 likes. Scrolling down more and more. Sean says, "Living proof that there's a lot of educated idiots out there." Getting 704 likes. Yep. Again, you can't find a battery charger. Like, even if you don't want to download the Walmart app, because Lord knows there's no spyware in all these apps these days, you can't just look for 18 seconds. All the Walmart stores are standardized for a reason. They're pretty much the same orientation of where the stuff is. Food is on the left, non-food is on the right when you walk in. And those automotive aisles, I think of it kind of the top right corner of my orientation, right next to the sporting goods stuff. Right next to that. And he couldn't look up and see the aisle names. Presumably a battery charger, and there's a whole department for batteries. There's literally a whole display of them, and right next to them, like I don't even need to download the app. I've walked past it enough times where I can either name it specifically, or just know where it is in the 10 feet radius. And I don't have a fancy PhD, mind you. Now you also have the disrespected trucker saying, quote, "I'm educated, so therefore I can be an asshole to people and treat them like they're subhuman. What an entitled dick." Yep, getting 235. Let's make it 236 likes. Lucy Lyles says, "This only convinces me further that the higher the education, the more brainwashed and indoctrinated they are." Getting 467 likes. Anyone sticking up for this guy? I don't think so. Let's see. I don't think this will ever take off in terms of a political campaign slogan because it's too long, but someone did try to, I don't know, Photoshop this on a hat. Someone by the name of Richard Harold says, "A much more appropriate hat for him," says, quote, "Make America a shithole, vote Democrat." Getting 43 likes. And not concise enough for that message. Let's see. Reg Sater says, "I also have a PhD, and the only difference is mine is useful." Getting 49 likes. Justin the Patriot says, "White dudes for Harris." Getting 38 likes. Let's see. And, yeah. They just hate you. They hate us. We'll see if I was going to say. Yeah, every time, there's nothing that makes me lose respect for someone more than bringing up their college degrees or PhDs and talking down to people. Just entitlement. And yeah, I think we're going to see a lot more in terms of, culturally speaking, things getting worse before they get better. I think we're going to see a lot more people of this entitlement going viral, unfortunately. But eventually maybe they'll learn to, treat everyone equally, hopefully. But let me know your thoughts. Have you seen this in your day-to-day life? Let me know, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting cultural news, you have a leftist mom breaking down and crying in front of her kids because Trump won. And yes, of course, she does have the crazy eyes. The Trump Derangement Syndrome is in full effect here. Yeah, now this comes to us thanks to End Wokeness on the good old X. And End Wokeness says, quote, Woke mom holds back tears as she tells her terrified kids who's won the election, which is again disgusting that you're projecting these feelings onto kids. Where if you're a kid, do you really care about politics? Mostly not, unless you're like a really passionate, but mostly not. And is it really going to affect kids? No. Well, I guess causing record inflation, have just your parents means they have to spend more on groceries, maybe means less money for toys. But really, is it going to have much impact on your life? No, but presumably not. This is not too long. It's about 1:35. Because clearly, well, we'll go ahead and dive on in. And for those who are just listening on the good old Spotify or something like that, or the Apple Tunes, if you go ahead and give me a 5-star rating, greatly appreciate it. Or give me a 1-star, let me know in the comments what I could do better. And if you are listening on those outlets, you are spared the visually disgustingness that you're going to see here if you're watching on good old Rumble or even YouTube. And yeah, I don't know where she buys these glasses, but they're the size of dinner plates. And they don't do her any favors. They magnify the craziness, soullessness in her eyes. And without too much further ado,
Harris did not win.
Who won?
Trump. So I'm
Take a breath.
Yep.
take a breath. Is she the mentality of a child? Well, most leftists are. So she has to take a breath. She's about to cry for her kids. Interesting thing culturally speaking between the left and the right. A lot of leftists break down and cry. Famously, the gal with the beanie and the glasses, dropping to her knees and crying in the 2016 election results. But you don't see a lot of people on the right crying and breaking down, having mental breakdowns just because someone wins an election or someone loses an election. Yeah, I can't but think these people need some mental help. Or just, push-ups and prayers. It solves a lot of problems in life.
So today may look a little different at school.
It shouldn't, unless the teachers are radicals pushing crap on the kids. It should have no difference in the public schools in terms of today's lesson is about math. Tomorrow's lesson is about math. Yesterday we learned multiplication, today we learn addition. Or vice versa. It shouldn't have any difference on the kids at school.
Okay, there are probably going to be friends who have questions. Right?
Really?
I'm sure your teachers are going to. I think, we currently are in a country where we get to choose, right? And people have different priorities. They have different values. Some people hear what he has to say and they don't believe him. And some people hear what he has to say and they believe him and they agree with him. So today's probably...
Does she break down and cry like a child between these cuts? These are really awkward, spliced videos together that she's put together here.
Your school day is probably going to look pretty normal. Okay? Your teachers are going to do a really great job of... if you have questions throughout the day or if you have big feelings throughout the day.
Do you like these?
Are you sad?
I'm very sad.
And now you're crying.
What a terrible mom. But she's making her kids scared about this, and she's having her kids to the point where they're crying about politics. You failed as a parent. That is ridiculous. There's no reason that, especially at those ages. I mean, you can hear those kids' voices. They're, I don't know, maybe first or second grade. That's just ridiculous. And again, those creepy eyes. They always have them. Now, this went pretty viral. Got 12 million views, as well as 80,000. Again, 80,000 likes. One of the first comments. Well, it's not the comment with the most likes, but I'm a little biased. I think the person who said it is quite handsome and brilliant. He's me. Again, at Twitter, hashtag or @ thingamajig, the topping show, in which I say they all have those eyes. True, getting 4 likes. Paul Zupa says she has a deviated septum, getting 1.1 thousand likes, which, yeah, I'm not going. I mean, shoot, that's just a weird looking nose. Not going to diss her too much for that unless she has plastic surgery and she chose that. But shoot, truth be told, I'm no Tom Cruise myself. I don't have much ground to stand on in terms of looks. Vince Langman says, quote, those kids have 0% chance of growing up to be normal, getting 27,000 likes. Unfortunately, I tend to agree with him. True Chief says, her poor children are already indoctrinated. children shouldn't have to worry about politics. Yes, getting 31,000 likes. Three-sided story says, quote, this is what mental illness looks like. And it's a screenshot of her right when she's tearing up and about to cry with those magnifying terrible glasses, which again, there are good looking glasses and frames out there. I mean, there are thousands to choose from. Granted, mostly one company actually makes them all, Luxottica, but nevertheless, that got 38,000 likes for the crazy eyes. Big Slagman also says child abuse, take those kids away from the psychopath, getting 6.8 thousand likes. John says, quote, the woke agenda has made weakness the norm. It's time to teach our kids to embrace strength and resilience, not to cower in tears over a leader who actually fights for them. Truth, gained 2.1 thousand likes. We need to get physical fitness back into public schools these days. Dodgeball, get it back in there. Mike Sprillizelia says, quote, we have mental illness levels that are off the charts, getting 8.7 thousand likes. Yep. Strife for America says, quote, imagine posting a private moment with your family because you think the world cares about how you feel. Getting 8.3 thousand likes. Yeah. She thought she was going to be really popular because of this. Red Wave Press says this is child abuse, getting 5.4 thousand likes. Fight with memes. Oh, come on. They did not, in fact, respond in a meme form. Nevertheless, this alleged fighter of memes says, quote, TDS, in effect, it seems, what terrible human beings to offload their own insecurities and fears onto their children, who otherwise wouldn't even know or care who is in office. Getting 3.2 thousand likes and 110% correct. There's a time and place for politics, and kindergarten ain't it. And again, the parents, this gal is introducing negativity and fear into these kids under something that, in all reality, will not have a negative effect on their life. And quite ironic, it'll actually have the opposite effect. They'll have more money for groceries. Gas will be cheaper. Deregulation will help everyone. Adam Johnson says only a deranged narcissist would record this and post their reaction with their children. Yeah, getting 3.5 thousand likes. Are there any contrarian statements sticking up for this gal? Probably not. Let's see here. Queen Mother says, quote, I feel so badly for her children of these white liberal tears, or white liberal women, rather. They're going to need therapy forever because of their craziness. Yeah, I tend to agree with that. Getting 435 likes. One bad dude simply says, that's a dude, getting 379 likes, which, it's probably a female. Sal D. Texan says, quote, imagine having this psycho for mom. Yeah, it'd be rough. Getting 471 likes. Jakey says, look at the schnoz on her, getting 654 likes, which, again, I'm not going to critique her for that. Everyone gets given the cards they're dealt, so to say. Again, I don't have much ground to stand on. There are a lot of people taking screenshots of that news, interestingly enough. Let's see here. So, yeah, not too many contrarian statements here. And again, these parents, geez, I mean, legally speaking, it's not child abuse. I think it's morally disgusting to, put that type of fear into your kid. It's just, I don't know. Now, that would be interesting if in our lifetime, is that redefined as child abuse? I mean, do you think it should be, like, legally child abuse to do this to your kids? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Going over to the political part podcast, you have Trump's lawyer daring the New York AG Letitia James to keep the lawfare up against Trump. Now, this comes to us thanks to Benny Johnson on the good old X Twitter, which Benny says, quote, Trump's lawyer Mike Davis issues dark warning to New York AG Letitia James. And I was going to say, he wrote the quote out, but Lord knows their voices are infinitely better than mine, so I'll go ahead and, without too much further ado, play them actually right now.
Let me just say this to Big Tish James, the New York Attorney General. I dare you. I dare you to try to continue your lawfare against President Trump in his second term, because listen here, sweetheart, we're not messing around this time, and we will put your fat ass in prison for conspiracy against rights, and I promise you that. So think long and hard before you want to violate President Trump's constitutional rights or any other American's constitutional rights. It's not going to happen again.
We've been warning people on the show, Mike. This isn't the same Trump administration. Stop messing around. Don't rig elections. Don't illegally vote. Don't try the funny business, because we know the team this time and they are not effing around.
Let me just say this.
Elon, I'm not sure if you think that's a bug or a feature, kind of an IT joke there, but I don't know why the video always replays automatically once it concludes. A little annoying, but nevertheless, went very far. Got 6.4 million views and 161,000 likes. And yeah, I could bet my bottom dollar Trump's not going to appoint the same people. There's going to be a lot less rhinos in government, hopefully. Now, one of the first comments comes from Paul Zuba saying, quote, love Mike Davis getting 901 likes. We finally have a leftist responding. I know they've been pretty busy with the copious amounts of salty tears going down their cheeks, ruining their copious amounts of makeup and blue hair. In all seriousness, this comes to us thanks to Keith Aloha, who, again, is a leftist, and perhaps the only appropriate time to have a palm tree in your name as an emoji. Really weird name, though. I don't think it's real. Keith Aloha. Almost as ridiculous as something like topping. Oh, wait, I partially digress. But in all actuality, I follow him because, again, echo chambers get a little bit boring and want to have some contrarian statements thrown in there. Now, he says, quote, "Congratulations, America. Now a felon goes free. You ass-sized voted for this. Now sit back and enjoy the peril." And he has a screen that says, "I expect gas to be $1.50 by the end of January, since y'all think that's how it works." Getting 12 likes, which, yeah, deregulation will decrease the price because you're decreasing the cost of goods sold. That's how it works. Also, increasing the supply. Trump, for sure, is going to have more drilling allowed on federal land. So, yeah, the gas price will go down. Will it be $1.50? With inflation going from Trump's first term to second? I'd be pretty pessimistic, though I can't help but also think Trump's going to meet with the top CEOs in the oil industries. And day one, he's going to ask, all right, gents, what do you need to get to these price points? How can I help you? As opposed to the current administration was trying to put him out of business. Biden actually ran a campaign saying he's going to put him out of business, which some mentally vacuous is almost incomprehensible. Just like Keith is as well. But he did get 12 votes for that, or 12 likes for that, rather. Wonder if he was ratioed. Let's see. Nope, all the comments against him, yeah. Was it TV Blue says, "They're so effing dumb it hurts, but they're dumb together, it gives a purpose." Oh no, I guess it does. He is agreeing with Keith. He also says, if you voted for Trump, you're a racist. How cliche. Going down, you have Saviana saying conspiracy against rights is a federal offense. 18 U.S. Section S41 aimed at interfering or preventing individuals from exercising their rights guaranteed under the Constitution. AG Letitia James should be familiar with this charge. Jack Smith used it against Trump, put her fat ass in jail. And 4.5 thousand likes. Angela says also, Mike Davis is a savage and he's out for blood. I love it. Getting 2.9 thousand likes. Let's see here. Scrolling down more and more. I love American News. Good profile name. He's actually retweeting for hashtag Donald Trump. That tweet was from May 21st, 2024, in which Trump said, "Wow, just came out of the Biden witch hunt trial in Manhattan, the icebox, which was shown reports that crooked Joe Biden's DOJ, in their illegal and unconstitutional raid of Mar-a-Lago, authorized the FBI to use deadly lethal force. But now we know for sure that Joe Biden is a serious threat to democracy. He is mentally unfit for office." 25th Amendment. Yep, getting 2.6 thousand likes for that statement. Scrolling down more and more. Georgie simply says the Viceroy is coming, getting 2.1 thousand likes. Mason Birch says, yes, this is precisely why I voted for Trump, getting 4.2 thousand likes. Let's see. Give Me Liberty says, quote, sick of lawfare against Trump and his supporters. This is a picture of the election coverage map from a county perspective. And it's all red. Mostly it says, quote, Trump better coverage than Verizon. Can you hear us now? Getting 399. Oh, shoot, we got to make that 400 likes. There you go, 400 likes. Oh, here's a contrary statement, I think. Juji Maria says he has to prosecute those who broke the law. He must be rid of rhinos and never Trumpers. If he had lost, he and Elon would be in jail for bankrupt. Don't allow the snake. Agree. So the snake is a dual-headed snake, and one side is Democrat, and one side is RNC, which, again, there are a lot of useless rhinos out there, pejoratively known as Republican in name only. Again, one of my biggest soapboxes I like to stand on is, well, I'm American, I believe in the Second Amendment. One of the most unconstitutional pieces of trash that's ever been signed into law was the NFA Act of 1934, known as the National Firearms Act of 1934, which regulated things like suppressors, short-barreled rifles, short-barreled shotguns, destructive devices like explosives, as well as machine guns and other fun freedom things. And this says if your state allows it, you can legally purchase them, but you need to pay a tax stamp of $200 to the U.S. Treasury Department. And that was the one time inflation did help us, because again, that was $200 in 1934. That correlates to about $4,900 in today's money. So the one time inflation did help us is that there was no caveat in that law to adjust for inflation. You also have your fingerprints taken and a photo passport taken and extra paperwork. They basically treat you like a criminal. All to exercise your God-given rights. Again, Republicans also had the House, they had the Senate, and the White House when Trump was first elected, and they did nothing for gun rights. There's one to get the suppressors off the NFA so you can buy it as a standard firearm on a 4473 paperwork and background check, but they couldn't even get that done. Yeah, so let's just say, the fight has only begun. You need to write to representatives, say, hey, great, we cast your vote, we believe in you, time to step up and do the job. So yeah, needless to say, I will be writing my representatives to repeal the NFA Act in 1934. And again, that is maybe I should actually have a prop as a physical soapbox, my soapbox topic of the day. Now going back to the main comments, we also have someone by the name of Carmen Camion said, I appreciate the bluntness and strength of the statement. The American people have spoken. If you go against President Trump, you should go against 72,784,427 Americans who voted for him. Got 1,000 likes. Now, there's still a couple more months before Trump is sworn in. I almost debate. It seems like the lawfare is kind of waning off against him, but I worry if they don't ramp it up again. I mean, every mechanism, every methodology has seemingly been trying to stop Trump. I'm just worried they're going to try something worse. Now, but let me know in the comments. I mean, what do you think might happen to Trump? Do you think the lawfare will actually end against him, or New York keep going after? Let me know, because as always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Other interesting political news, you have Ken Paxton from Texas and 14 other states stopping Biden-Harris from giving illegals amnesty. Now this comes to us thanks to American First Legal. American First Legal tweeted saying, quote, breaking news, we just won our lawsuit with Ken Paxton, Texas, and Rob Labriere, and a coalition of 14 states. We have officially stopped Biden-Harris administration from their attempt to grant mass amnesty to hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens. This comes from J. Campbell Baker, United States District Judge, and it says, final judgment. Quote, the court declares that defendants lack authority or statutory authority under 8 U.S. Section 182D5A itself, as opposed to under provisions modifying or supplementing the authority to grant parole, quote, in place in aliens, as the term is used in the Final Agency Act published in 89 Federal Regulation 67459, August 20th, 2024. Implementation of keeping families together, or deem parole in place as used there to be parole into, quote, the United States for purposes of 8 U.S.C. Section 1255A. The agency action is thereby set aside and vacated pursuant to 5 U.S.C. Section 7062. All other relief prayed for is denied without prejudice, except for attorney's fees and non-taxable services, which may be sought after the final judgment. See Federal RFC Civ P54D2. Court costs are taxed against defendants. See Fed R Civ 54D1. The clerk of court is directed to enter this document into the final judgment. See Federal P58. So ordered to court November 7th, 2024. Now that it got 1.7 million views and 46,000 likes. The first comments coming from Base Electrician saying, quote, amazing work. Now we just need to send them back, getting 419 likes. Kelly says, quote, huge victory. Thank you again, AG Paxton, best AG in the country. Thank you, American First Legal, getting 711 likes. Angelina, Earth's Angel, pretty interesting name, says, thank God. And his meme says, illegals aren't immigrants, they're criminals, getting 362 likes. Scott Ravisto says, don't mess with Texas. Is a picture of the Texas flag, says, don't mess with Texas. Getting 399 likes. Oh, 399, we gotta make that one 400. Oh, now 402. For our very eyes went up. Ryan Rips, the left, says, God bless you and God bless America. It's the gif of Mel Gibson from The Patriot riding on a horse with the American flag, getting 347 likes. Masculine Base says America is winning, getting 112 likes. Kitchen says, quote, now it's time to load them up and send them home. We're done paying, getting 561 likes. Dr. Lynn Finn Durrell says, let's pack them up and send them home now, getting 148 likes. Good Fight says, that's a great start. Deporting all will commence on January 20th. Get ready, the freeloader party is over, getting 102 likes. Which, yeah, given the federal budget, how much money we waste every single day of every single year, yeah, something's gotta start cutting somewhere, and cutting deep. Cutting that federal budget, gut it. Make a profit for once. Like, geez Louise, gotta pay off that debt someday. Nick says this is huge. America's winning, getting 105 likes. Indeed, we are. Going down more and more. Well, I'm not seeing too much engagement from leftists lately. And again, I try to follow as many people possible left in the middle and the right. So that way, if you follow someone, you see the top comments, even if they're not the top liked comment, just so we don't, have too much of an echo chamber. But not seeing them engage too much this week. I know the salty tears are probably flowing, but still. Let me know in the comments. Do you think it's going to have long-term implications, and how might the deportation process actually happen? Let me know, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Now, going over to the business blunder of the day, you have Optics Planet with a 1.15 out of 5 stars at the Better Business Bureau. Now, this comes after, well, personal experience. It took a long time for me to save up for a TrichCon RMR, which is a very expensive but made in America red dot site. And yeah, after 2 weeks, they say, oh, I may eventually get it. So I ordered it. I paid for expedited shipping. Didn't get there in time. Also, they sent me one that was used. Did not apologize, did not compensate in any way, and then said, oh yeah, it'll take, once you ship to us, we'll process it. It might take 3 days, and then we'll ship it out again in 3 to 5 days. So in total, this has taken over 2 weeks. Still haven't gotten it. We'll see what happens. And yeah, one of the things where if you ever want to buy, high quality firearm accessories and firearm gear, go to brownells.com. They're family owned, headquartered in the great state of Iowa. The best customer service, almost triple their score on the Better Business Bureau. And unfortunately, the only reason I chose Optics Planet is because they claimed to have the product I wanted in stock. The other sites did not, and I wanted it for a customer event, so I chose to purchase through Optics Planet against my better judgment. And yep, turns out when I first got it late, it was used, and I tried to return it, and it's in theory they'll get me a new one someday. Now this comes with thanks to the Better Business Bureau, and there we can see, let's see here, Optics Planet, headquartered in the communist state, or some might say the communist state of Illinois. And yeah, let's look at this. They headquartered at 3150 Commercial Avenue, Northbrook, Illinois, which used to be a stone throw away from where I grew up. And yeah, look at that customer rating. It's not just 1 or 2 ratings. Again, one of the few useful things I did learn in college was my business statistics professor drilled into our heads. Know your sample size. Very true. And I say that with everything from election polls to car ratings. Once I sample size, they'll tell you a lot. And depending on your sample size and how you frame a question, you can usually get what you want in terms of the outcome. Now, in this case, the sample size is not, fantastic, but I would say it's pretty accurate for the company. Now, it says out of 109 customer reviews, and it's 1.15 out of 5. Also, it's terrible. So their BBB rating and accreditation, they're not accredited. Then some might say it's another red flag. They've been in business somehow for almost 24 years, and they have an F for their rating. Probably should be F-. And yeah, people are really pissed when they take time to actually confirm reviews. So if you go to this website, again, this is a, let me pull up the URL here. It's just bbb.org, .org website. And there are instances where you can leave a review, but you don't have to confirm it's really you. In terms of you just write a review, you're done. This one, they actually force you to confirm it. So they send you either a text message or an email. We have to click confirm I'm real. And you have to be really, again, most people don't write reviews, and the ones that do usually have an extremely negative experience. It's one of those things where, again, one of the reasons you should take every customer concern, take it very seriously, is because if you have a good experience with the business, and it's kind of the human condition, it's a little sad. If you have an exceptional service somewhere, usually will tell on average 1.14 or 1.4 people on average. Now, if you have a negative experience, you'll tell about 7 people about that experience, or in my case, it's just quite a few more. And yeah, 1.15 out of 5, and that's 109 people who took the time to review and confirm it, either giving this people their email address to confirm it, so you gotta log into your email and click that button, or a text message, which a lot of people don't like giving out those that information. Now, look at the customer complaints. 183 complaints closed in the last 3 years, 76 closed in the past 12 months. Let's just read one of the first 2 here. Again, they've been in business for 24 years. Wow. And they still have a 1.15 out of 5. That's almost as impressive as the postal off service, I suppose. Now, scroll down here. See, 108 reviews. Just read the last 1 or 2. And yeah, I will actually. I haven't put my review up yet. Maybe I should. I probably will. One of the first ones coming from October 30th, 2024. William G says, stay away from Optic Planet. The first time I made an order with Optic Planet, I ordered a combo laser light for my HK and made the order on the phone with the item. I thought everything was fine until 7 days later. I checked to see what the status of the delivery was and found that they canceled my order. No notice from them. I called to talk to a supervisor. She gave me no reason why they canceled my order, only to say that, quote, at our discretion, we canceled your order. I have ordered artillery-related items from many companies over the years and never had a problem until this. I'll never do business with them again. Another one, Fleet K says, I ordered an F1913 folding pistol brace from them It arrived and does not function to advertise. Ask for replacement, and the company says all sales are final. What a ridiculous position for the company to take. Let's see here. Do one or two more. Josie says, buyers beware. Listed on their website, quote, by visiting our website, doing business with Optic Planet, and or otherwise engaging Optic Planet, you have consent to the implementation of our policies. Familiarize yourself with their policies before buying. They do track your information and have terrible customer service due to these policies. Oh, that's another 1 out of 5. Let's see. Robert W says, Optic Planet is a total scam. I had purchased a lined up saved in cart. I waited overnight to make the purchase in the early morning, and when I logged back in, the price had increased by $100 in the final stage of the purchase. This is outright fraud, not dynamic pricing. Steer clear away from this dumpster fire of a company. Yeah, usually it's the opposite. Smart businesses will actually give you an incentive where they'll actually discount an item in your cart so that you'll click that buy button. I've never heard of the perverse incentive like this where the price goes up. Well, that's a pretty rare thing. I guess that is a unique thing to do. I wouldn't recommend it, Optics Planet, but you seem to be doing it. Jeffrey simply says, don't order from this site. They don't care about your received items. I have almost 300 worth of merchandise that has been missing for 10 days in the postal system. They refuse to do anything. Let's see. Darian says, company, do not do business with them. Purchase an expensive item well over $2,000 and paid for 3 to 5 day shipping. Now 12 days later and nothing. Sounds familiar. They said nothing and we can do nothing except refund your shipping and wait for it to show up. Terrible company. Yeah, that's the biggest discrepancy I see in terms of aligning customer expectations with the situations. They take days to process orders, which in 2024, an e-commerce website, that's just bullshit. I'm sorry. It means you're either woefully inept or you don't have the item in stock, which is something that many forums do speculate that Optics Planet actually doesn't have a lot of things in stock. They get your order, then they source it, which, given the delays I've had with Optics Planet throughout the years, I can't but think there's probably a couple grains of truth in that. See if there's anything more. Oh, there's hundreds more. We'll read one or two. Trisha R says, ordered an EOTech ESP30 and Surefire batteries for Labor Day sale. Paid for 2-day shipping, called a week later, and it hadn't shipped yet. They canceled my order and still not received the funds back of $672. Jeez Louise. Which, again, EOTech makes great Made in America gear. Is mil spec, which that's kind of a debate. Never forget your gear when it comes to government contracts. Your gear is made by the lowest bidder. But in all seriousness, that's a pretty chunk of change. $672. And yeah, that's another thing. Which again, I paid for the expedited shipping, and no, never got there. Let's do one or two more. A lot more. Do one more. Morgan P says, forewarning, they make you pick a star. This company doesn't deserve 1 star. This is the most censored. They lie to customers, sell products they don't have and can't get. Everything they say has strings attached. If you want actual products, stay away from this company. They'll tell you it'll ship in 1 to 3 weeks and then charge you 1 to 2 months out, or change your order 1 to 2 months out. I've seen better business models from 60-year-old kids. Absolutely disgrace to American business. Yeah, again, their website is good in terms of you can find products there, but yeah, I told the customer service representative when I tried to call in for support, which again, the company does not give employees the tools to make the situation better and improve things for outcomes for clients. And again, they just wouldn't do anything. They wouldn't lift a finger to help out. And yeah, I even told them, I respect you. I know you have a job. I know your boss isn't going to allow you to overnight ship it because you probably don't have it in stock to actually, compensate me for selling me a used product. But I told him this would be my last sale with him, and he didn't care. And I think that's just at the end of the day, that's why Optics Planet will eventually fail long term. They don't care. Again, all these stories, there's a whole subreddit called Optics Planet Sucks. And again, you keep treating people terribly. I mean, taking more than a minute to get someone on a phone call is in modern day unacceptable from a customer service perspective. I know it sounds a little entitled, and just culturally we shifted so much where Amazon raised the bar so much for customer service. And again, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of Amazon, but they're trying to compete with them. They're authorized Churchicon resellers and resellers of these products that they sell on Optics Planet on Amazon, and you can get items shipped to you in a day or two. If there's anything wrong with it, they fix it immediately. They don't take weeks to fix the issue and then pretend it didn't happen. So I gotta say, Optics Planet, your rating of a 1.15 out of 5 is actually probably too high for what you deserve. But I gotta say that, and again, you could change that. If you actually help the customers out, they would change these scores. So if you actually lifted a finger and did something for the customers and made it right, you'd have a higher score. So I gotta say, Optics Planet, you are certainly the business blunder of the day. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.